Hi, my name is Alexander, and I'm the developer of Dash Astrology, which is a very specific healing method of using astrology through the body and also just tapping into consciousness and seeing what's going on with the stars and planets. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the new moon in Sagittarius, which will be on November 26th at 3:05 p.m. Universal Time. 3:05 p.m. Universal Time. That's right. So, based on the different time zones, like whatever time zone you're in, I think I should have a link in the description, like a link that you can click on in the description to give it to you in your, like whatever time zone you're in. Like, for example, uh, in Los Angeles, let me see, I have it right here. Just a second. So if you're in LA, it's gonna happen at November 26th at 7:05 a.m. All right. So anyhow, yeah, lots of cool and exciting stuff going on. So welcome. Before we begin, we're gonna do something from my vessel building exercise, which is an astrological yoga routine. It's called the thymus thump. And what it does is it activates the thymus gland, which balances the right and left brain. So when the right and left brain are working together, we have something that's called creativity. A lot of people think that creativity is just right brain, but that's not creativity. Right brain is fantasy, it's imagination. Left brain is, logic and you know arithmetic and these kinds of things. So when they are working together, then we have something called creativity, and from creativity we can listen. Something new can come out of it, because that's what creation is all about. So it's really important to have that thymus gland that's connected to the heart vortex or chakra. I call chakras vortexes because that's what a chakra is in English. Anyhow, so all we do is I will do it first, and then you can do it after me. So we start with the mantra. I have love, faith, trust, gratitude, and courage. My life energy is high. I am in a state of love. And then you make a fist and you just thump 3 times like this. And you say ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So right and left brain are balanced. Go ahead and give it a try. All right, cool. So new moon in Sagittarius. What is that all about? Well, first we need to know that the new moon is when the moon doesn't have it's not reflecting any of the light from the sun. So it's this blank canvas. So that means that we can inject our intentions onto this power of the new moon, which then they will wax or grow throughout that lunar cycle. So when the moon is in a different sign, even different degrees, if you will, but I'm just talking about the different signs. When the moon is going through different signs, it's new in different signs throughout the year. When it's in Sagittarius, we are able to connect to intentions of sustainable happiness and the ability to achieve our goals. Okay, so that's really powerful, something I think that we all want to really work on and optimize throughout that lunar cycle of Sagittarius. So now we are also in what's called Sagittarius season, which all that means is that the sun is transiting through the constellation of Sagittarius. I also have a solar meditation that you can check out. I'll put a link in the description, and you can do that at any time in the month. But at the end of this video, I'm going to offer a guided moon meditation, so stay tuned for that, but you have to register, and then it'll take you to another video. And that can only be done within 24 hours before and after the new moon, whereas the solar meditation can be done at any time during that season. But anyhow, we are in the Sagittarius season, and we are being called to really temper the energies that we fortified throughout the month of Scorpio, which I'm sure a lot of us feel it. It's really intense. It's kind of like we're finding what is the right temperature. We balanced things in Libra, and then they got strengthened, fortified in Scorpio, and now we're really being tested to see where we stand with all those things. So it's a really interesting, really amazing opportunity for all of us to be able to, tap into that and see where we stand. Now, Sagittarius is ruled by an archetype from the tarot called Temperance. Okay? It's ruled by an archetype called Temperance. And this is an archetype that really brings opposing forces or opposites into union. Yeah, so Temperance from the tarot, it really encourages us to adjust and temper our opposing experiences. So, what does that mean? Well, basically that means that it's going to help us to open our mind and ask us to apply everything that we've learned, everything that we've experienced, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. And then, we're going to see what we have truly mastered based on all those experiences that we've had, because it's really about this alchemical process of seeing, okay, where do I stand with that? What's going on? So it's a really powerful and interesting time for us to see exactly where we stand with all that. Now, in Dash Astrology, which is the school that I teach and use in my practice and classes, every moon, it puts us onto a quest. And I have a series of archetypal questions that are connected to each of the archetypes. And there are these questions that are going with the quest, right? Because when you have a question, you create like the vessel for the answers to come. And the question for this new moon in Sagittarius is, or actually there's 2 or 4 if you technically count the Y, but it's like, which areas of my life are exciting? Why? Which areas of my life could use more excitement, and why? And you can use an essential oil blend to help us with this contemplation. It's called Pleasure by Aurelia Essential Oils. You can get it on aureliaessentialoils.com. But the essential oil blend really helps to enhance the art of giving and receiving. It can also help, to strengthen personal desire from within us rather than what the media is telling us, we should desire, or what's trendy or whatever. So that's just a little helper that you can check out. Now, before we can really see where we stand with our tests, right? And what we have supposedly mastered, we need to really do something that's like taking us back in time. We need to look back in time, and we need to really look at ourselves and also look at the choices that we have made and whether or not they have been made from a place of lack or from a place of happiness. So the question of this new moon asks us, in which areas of your life are exciting, which is different than moments of your life. There's a big difference there. So an area could be career, for example, or it could be relationship. And each of these areas contain moments, right? So a moment can just be like a fleeting moment or whatever, but an area is like all the time it's exciting. So when an area has excitement, then every moment is filled with life and with energy. And also what's connected to this new moon of Sagittarius is this card here. Okay, it's called the Eight of Wands. All right, the Eight of Wands. And this card has a lot of energy. It has, it's really showing us about this exciting energy and all that really good stuff. So we cannot really, or let me put it this way, until we're able to really distinguish between stable happiness and temporary happiness or excitement, it'll be really impossible for us to find true happiness. So, for example, when we want things, our first perception is ruled by Sagittarius, is that we don't have it. When we want something, our perception is ingrained, even if we're not aware of it, is that we don't have it. So we have 2 choices. We can either go for a quick fix, and maybe get a little bit of energy for a little while, or we can do the inner work, and then, really powerful here, is that we can perceive that which we want instantly. Instantly. So it is possible to perceive that which we want in our reality right away. And I cannot think of anything that's more exciting than that, right? I mean, but you got to do the inner work. So with meditation or with prayer or with, the prayer for the inner growth, right? What do these things do? It's not that I pray for something and then I'm going to get it, right? What the prayer does, what the meditation does, is it increases the likelihood of whatever we want to happen to happen. So it's increasing the likelihood that it's going to arise spontaneously. Whereas our wild thoughts, or just the thoughts like or thinking, you can't even really call it thinking, but just kind of having this mental activity, is hit or miss. But with honest concentration, with the power of focus and intentions, we increase the likelihood of it arising within our perception. It being what it is that we want. We increase the likelihood of it arising within our perception. So we witness the rendering of reality, okay? When the unmanifest becomes manifest out of the sea of the high priestess, which is connected to the moon. Okay, so the moon is responsible, or let me see, the high priestess rules over the moon. Okay, actually, yeah, she rules over the moon. And on the new moon, we have the opportunity to increase the likelihood of things happening. So the high priestess becomes manifest as a creation, which is the Empress, okay, the card after her. And there's really this one, right? So she's creating things. So there's nothing happening per se, it just is. So our task is to all we need to do is to perceive the essence of everything that is already there, because nothing is actually lacking. And this is a paradox, but this is something that we need to understand. So how can we start doing this? Well, we can start by opening up our mind, and by opening up our moon vortex, again, which is the third eye chakra. In astrology, again, we call the chakras vortexes because that's what they are in English. Okay? In English, a chakra is a vortex. If you can see them, then you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, what happens is that we look with a karmic view of ego perception, which can be the ego view of karmic perception can be subjective, and it is subjective, and it can get quite boring, lacking excitement. So the subjective experience, the subjective karmic view of perception has nothing to do with reality, because the subjective view gets boring. But reality is always exciting, because when we are, connected with reality, then guess what? Everything is there. But with subjectivity versus like not reality, right? Subjectivity, there's separation, there's lack, there's like my experience, there's your experience, like there's not like this common understanding of what's going on. So subjectivity is your subjective experience through the filters and the karmic lenses of our personal reality. So this is also how spiritual fiction is formed, and it is within subjectivity where we pick and choose what influences us and what we are subjected to, or what we think we are subjected to. Because you know um, if we can pick and choose what applies to us, then why not choose to perceive all our dreams, wishes, and intentions revealed, right? As they are right there, right now. So until we can walk through the wall, we need to know that there is a wall. Otherwise, our subjective experience of walking into the wall is going to hurt, right? So we need to know about the wall. Of course, we know that we can walk through the wall, but until we can do it, we have to respect the spiritual law that there is a wall. So yeah, of course, it's really unfortunate that being politically correct has spread into spiritual aspirations nowadays, because we're now living in a world where we need to really walk on eggshells to not offend others, with their beliefs, because most people turn spiritual memes into psychological affirmations, and then they call them spiritual truths. Now, again, these are spiritual traps, these are tests, and they're set up for us to become complacent and justifiably egotistical when the going gets tough, right? And we kind of just splash around in the waters where we're not really, honest or confronting so that we can elevate. Yet we should know that we are always, how should I say that? Yet we should always know, so if we take our circumstances of childhood or birth, for example, we should know that we are always born into the exact circumstances that are going to provide for the lessons that we need to learn, even if that means that we fall, right? So we're being set up to fall. Now, how can this be? How can the world be so cruel like this? Well, because sometimes for some people, it's only once we really hit rock bottom that we make 100% connection to the divine. Okay, so then of course, that's amazing. If that's the end result, then that's absolutely amazing. So moving on, we find that our karmic inheritance, right, is within the wisdom of divinity. So we don't really need to suffer or complain about anything anymore. We remember at all times that whatever seems to be going on is only filtered through the ego. And when we can catch that, it's a miracle. And Sagittarius is the month of miracles. So the reality in each and every one of our circumstances at birth is perfect, and that's how we get our birth chart. So we don't need to blame anybody, because that's our karma, because whatever is in our chart, we have attracted that. So when we see something as bad, it's only what we project onto it, right? But if we really can perceive the karmic patterns surrounding it, then we wouldn't judge it. But then we can work with it, and then we're able to transcend it. But we first, again, like with the wall, we need to perceive it so that we do not project onto it. It's a wall. Of course, I know the potentials, I can walk through it. I don't need to project that it's impossible to walk through it. I need to respect it until I can walk through it, right? But that's, again, just going back to the divine perfection in the karma. So meanwhile, what happens is that most of us, we walk around kind of just parroting memes or teachings that we hear about as if we understand them, or even worse, just being entertained by them. So when we read something, we need to know that it doesn't necessarily mean that we know it, because to know something, it means that we must have gained some kind of experience. Otherwise, we know about something as in theory, and Sagittarius energy loves to theorize. So a judgment that is made based only on data is impaired at best. Okay, it's impaired at best, because without that experience, we can only have a theory about what's going on. Like this famous example, I've never eaten an apple before, but I've studied it, I've seen it, I've smelled it, but I still don't know what it tastes like because I haven't actually eaten it. Now, this is not an excuse, just to write off things as our karma, because then what happens is that we just kind of go in this cowardly state of laziness where we don't feel the need to transcend our karma because, it's all divine, so it's all fine. No, 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 no. That's just not how we need to understand it. It's like there's nothing more exciting than seeing our karmic divinity and making a plan to transcend it, or to, really go beyond our karma. So we won't be bored, we won't be depressed, so we are really asked to see which area of our life needs more excitement. How can we bring more stable happiness into our life? And I can already tell you that the house where this new moon is occurring for you, that's going to be an area that needs more excitement. And then that's that energy of that Eight of Wands has a lot of energy that's going to bring appreciation and joy for that new moon in Sagittarius. So with that said, I'm just going to quickly go through every zodiac sign. You can work with your own chart, obviously, but I want to go through every zodiac sign to just kind of see like where that excitement needs to be brought into. And we are going to start with Sagittarius because this is your moon. So let me see. Let me just cast it. Okay, so all right. So you need to Sagittarius, this new moon wants you to bring more Sagittarius and happiness into your identity, also into your body. Really feeling good about your body, bringing more excitement into your daily, self-care, self-routine kind of things, and being able to express yourself and show yourself to the world. So that's a really powerful lunar cycle for you. Capricorn, you need to bring some more excitement into your spiritual work and also into your understanding the divine karma and seeing that nothing is lacking and that it's absolutely possible for you to be able to get a stronger sense of what's going on in the background. How can I be excited about that? And whatever is popping up from it, to just be always excited, because excited is going to attract that energy. It's almost like a prayer where then the likelihood of whatever you need to happen can then happen. Aquarius, so more excitement with groups, friends, people, like finding the stable happiness within them. Like, you don't really have a hard time like giving too much of your power or happiness away to them, but it's something that you can really focus on throughout this lunar cycle, that you're not, or that you, let me put it this way, that you are really valuing and appreciating your friends more, and this is going to make you really happy. Pisces, find more excitement in work and career, and also stepping in more into this power authority where you can really activate your inner boss, not so much or also like being excited about what's coming and what your goals are in this life, like in the material world. Like you're really thinking about the material world, okay? Aries, put excitement into maybe some travel and also having a strong outlook on life and being really excited about it. Like think positively, have positive outlook on things, and find things that are creating that stable happiness for you. Even if it seems kind of far-fetched, just experiment with it, figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and then go with it. Taurus, be excited about change. I know this is kind of difficult sometimes, but change is going to bring about some really exciting things for you, and it's going to show you where stable happiness is not and how you can activate stable happiness. Gemini, be excited about your relationships. Don't give your power away by thinking that other people make you happy. Really see where you stand within yourself and how you can express yourself and start, this new canvas of being calm in the relationship, but still maintaining the excitement and the fresh wind. Cancer, work. It's about work also, your duty, the things you need to buckle down and do, also your health. Be excited about taking care of yourself, doing something nice for yourself, maybe going to a spa, but also really then working really hard, working off your list, making the list, and following through with it. Leo, be excited about your expression, Be excited about the things that you need to do. Be excited about, hobbies that you have. Love. Be excited about, finding that stability in anything that makes you feel lighter. Okay. Virgo, you can be bringing happiness into your home, into your family, finding a good appreciation for your emotions and how they inspire you, and how communicating them with others can inspire and motivate others as well, and how your service in the home domestic life is going to bring a lot of excitement for yourself and the people that you share it with. Libra, what's going on with Libra? Okay, so communication is very important throughout this cycle. Find stability in the way you communicate, which mostly means the way that you listen. Listen to people, have like a good, strong sense of what they're saying and how they're saying it, and then communicate what you need to say that's not trying to get something or keep balance. Like, just be authentic in the way that you communicate with people, and this is going to create a stable excitement and happiness. And finally, Scorpio, stability with money, stability, like happiness with money, being really happy with what you have, being happy with what's coming, being happy and stable with your value, because when you realize how much you're worth, when you realize how much value you have, then you'll be able to attract more money and more financial sustenance. Okay? Really exciting, you guys. So again, the moon represents our vessel, and it's going to be empty with this new moon, and we can receive everything that we need for that 29-day throughout the zodiac that the moon goes through. So the new moon is going to affect each and every one of us, specifically by our sign, but also by our house. So depending on where this new moon is occurring for you, you can check it out in the Dash Astrology Moon Workbook that I have for sale, that you can check it out. If you want, you can order also a version where I tell you exactly which house it's going on. This is no problem. And now we will get into the meditation. I put a link in the description below so you can register, because it costs like $11 to participate. And what we do in there is that we we take control of the new moon window, and then we can empower our intentions right from the beginning. So everything that we could face in that lunar cycle is going to present itself within those first 48 hours, and then we can overcome them by doing this meditation. And the way that works is that everything that is in the fruit is in the seed, right? So we're working on that quantum level, and that's why the new moon is also traditionally a good day to start new projects and whatnot. So if you have something that you're working on, that's great. You can give it a refresher. If you want to work on something new, then you can use this meditation to help you do that as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave them in the comments below. And like this video, subscribe to my channel if you want more information about astrology and all kinds of wellness things. I post all kinds of cool videos and stuff. So I thank you for being the one who makes a difference by using and studying Dash Astrology, and I hope to see you in the meditation. And happy new moon in Sagittarius. Okay, guys, thank you.